Okay, I decided. I'm sorry. I can't help it but think of infinite waters when I'm out here. Breathe, infinite waters diving deep once again. We're out here in nature. Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Nah. I'm Ryan Cropper, Ryan James Cropper, and this is Your Potential. Today I have a video pertaining to 4 of the easiest meditations that I do, and they are by far, in my opinion, the most powerful when it comes to the long lineup of meditations that I teach on my YouTube channel and on my website, ryancropper.com. Okay, some of these you have heard of before, all of which can be found in further detail on my YouTube channel. I will leave the links to these videos in the description below if you want to check it out after this quick recap. Okay, so the first most powerful meditation that I like to do deals with astral projection. The reason as to why it's so powerful is because of its simplicity. You see, it's one that allows you to trigger an astral projection using a simple tool, a tennis ball actually, or you can use a medicine ball. You take the ball, you have your arm out towards the side, and you simply just feel the ball, okay? You get used to the weight of the ball in your hand, and the texture of the ball also. After a while, I want you to drop the ball. You will hear a sound, the sound of the ball hitting the floor. It helps if you have carpet because it'll make a nice soft thudding noise. Now, that's the physical, realistic side of things. Then what I want you to do is I just want you to pretend as if that ball is still in your hand. Literally feel the imaginary ball. And when I say imaginary, I don't want you to imagine it within your third eye. This is all feeling. Feel as if it's there. So what I like to say instead of imagination, actually, is just act as if that ball is still in your hand. Okay? Use that terminology. It will help to prevent your mind from creating that ball within your third eye. If you accidentally start doing that, most of the time people do that because it's easier than feeling it or acting as if the ball is still in your hand. Then what you'll do is you'll open the floodgates, so to speak. Okay? You will encourage your imagination to run wild with other imaginative things, thus opening the door for dream time. You'll start wandering in other directions within your imagination, and then you'll get tired and you'll fall asleep. So it's best not to use your imagination with this meditation. Just act as if, using your muscle memory, as if the ball is still in your hand. And then you just let yourself gradually fall into a deep state. What will happen is eventually it will feel as if that ball is real. You'll suddenly start to feel the weight of the ball in your hand, which will be kind of confusing. You know, you dropped it moments ago. And then eventually, it will just fall out of your hand and hit your carpet, thus thudding. That thud will prompt you to realizing that, wait a second, I dropped the ball earlier today. Why is it that I can hear it again? Well, it can only be because you've just arrived in the etheric plane. Now, the etheric plane deals with thought forms. When you're acting as if that ball is still in your hand, you're actually conjuring energy. You're pulling energy within the etheric realm in order to manifest a thought ball. Now, because you're using your thoughts in this way, your astral body will be pulled into the etheric plane. Once you're there, you can choose to go somewhere else if you want. Okay? So that's just one quick, really powerful meditation. If you want more information on that, then check out the top 5 astral projection methods on my YouTube channel. I'll also leave that in the description below. It'll be the first link. That way you'll also get to see the other 4 that deal similarly with the feeling aspect of astral projection. The other one is fishing for answers. Fishing for answers is one of my favorites because there are 2 ways of using it. And again, this is also a video. I'll go into it real quick. Fishing for answers is the ability to sit there, close your eyes, and basically throw a question to either your subconscious mind, I call it the abysmal mind, your higher self, or entities, God, angels, anything of that sort, based on how you're throwing out the questions. And so the way that you do that is quite simple. You lay down in your bed, you close your eyes. And, whenever anyone closes their eyes, it feels like they're the only ones inside their head, right? I mean, obviously there's a darkness around you that you don't have to create because you're looking at the backs of your eyelids. And so in a way, it's kind of like you're in a black room. Now, if you throw out a question to that darkness as far as you can, right now my third eye is opening, making it very difficult because all I can see is this pathway in front of me. So if I close my third eye and throw out the question, show me what's going to happen in 6 years, and I throw it out to that darkness in this specific direction and I wait, I'll get a ping. There we go. I just got a flash of a white car. I guess I'm going to own a car. Okay? Now, that could have been coming from my subconscious mind. I call it the abysmal, meaning deep. It's like really deep in there. Or it could be coming from an entity. You really wouldn't know unless you fell asleep doing this meditation. If you fall asleep doing this meditation, you'll find the thing that's giving you these answers. It's almost always in a black void. You don't have to create the black void. You don't have to do much of anything but throw out a question. And from that point onwards, don't do anything. I like to liken this part of the method to driving. Just don't crash. And like, you take your hands off the steering wheel and something else will grab hold and steer the ship, giving you the answers you seek. Now, if you want to shoot it out to something else, like an angel or spirit guides or someone who's probably passed away, then you need to have skills in regard to feeling into dimensional space. So you need to be able to sit there and feel into the spirit realm. When I close my eyes like this and I can see the world around me, I'm actually looking into an astral plane. Now, if I threw the question out to what I'm seeing, something's going to pop up. Probably mess with my equipment, so I won't do that. But that's how you do it. That is in no way, shape, or form downplaying the answers you're going to get, from your subconscious mind, the abysmal mind, compared to the answers that you could get from an entity in the astral plane. Because trust me, you know everything already. Not this you is your ordinary awareness, it's up here. Now, if you close your eyes and you throw a question to yourself, that's called self-inquiry. Problem with that is you'll only ever get the answers that you can already come up with. You might as well sit there and try and think it through yourself. But trying to do that, you'll find some challenges there. You might hit some roadblocks. And so sometimes it's best just to access a part of yourself that already knows and just step out of the way. Lucid dreaming. I'll put it right here. It's the easiest thing ever. Because it is, really. I mean, all you got to do, most people, they overcomplicate the entire process. They do too much when it comes to lucid dreaming. Honestly, belief in yourself will take you further than most exercises out here on YouTube. Believing that you can hold your awareness into a dream state, believing that you can become lucid is huge when it comes to lucid dreaming. Now, the technique that I'm going to give you will help also. All you got to do is you close your eyes and you create things by yourself. So right now I'm imagining myself on a purple planet where all the trees are purple and the sky is blue, but there are two suns. Now, as I walk around this forest, I can change things. I can put a dragonfly in the air, I can change the shape of the dragonfly. If I let my mind take control, it will start to create things by itself. It just put a blue car in the middle of a field. Now my brain is literally firing up its metaphor abilities, capabilities. You see, your dream time is created by your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will take whatever you're dealing with throughout your day, your problems, your worries, and it will turn it into a metaphor for you to further look at within your dream time. Okay? This is you within your subconscious mind. A cool tidbit about the subconscious mind. I'll tell you later. I have a habit of wandering into other topics. So, your subconscious mind uses metaphors to make sense out of your current dilemmas. And if I sit there and I look into the car, I can see someone standing in the car. Now I'm actually interacting with my subconscious mind. It's a white guy with his t-shirt off, and he's staring at me, he's got blue eyes. Now, I can interpret this because I'm used to interpreting my dreams. I just met a guy earlier on today, and his baby had blue eyes in the forest, okay? And he kind of reminded me of a friend. And so my subconscious mind is putting a person, this figure, inside this blue car that reminds me of a friend. Now, he's smiling at me because my subconscious mind is like, ha, you're getting it. Now, if I want to, this is what I want you guys to do also, I can change his hair from ginger to long and black. Yeah? Or I can put it in ponytails. And then I can go and see what the rest of my subconscious mind has in store for me. I can walk behind the car, and now the car just turned red. And there are people all in the field looking at me, okay? They all have the same faces. And I can change their clothes. I can create more trees growing out of the ground. I can do whatever I want. The key is to do little, okay? Little, change very little as you journey throughout your subconscious mind. As you start playing with this, changing smaller and smaller details, letting your subconscious mind create your environment to its max, almost, you'll notice that you'll fall asleep. You'll fall asleep and you'll fall into your subconscious mind, and you'll be aware to an extent. Now, lucidity doesn't mean that you have to be completely lucid in a lucid dream. You can be only partially lucid, and that's just fine. You know, within these many layers of lucidity, you'll be able to notice different things about your dream time. You'll be able to interpret your dreams completely differently from these many angles, you know, brought on by your many states of lucidity. And so let's go into my 1, 2, 3 final one, the Ujjayi breath, or I think they call it the UG breath. I recently made a video on this. Basically, you collapse your throat. You go. Try that again. I'm out of practice. Whoa, scary. Hey,
right.
how's it going? You breathe in through your throat, like this, and then back out. Now, what's happening here isn't too complex. Some might have an issue with this, so I'll try and make it a little easier. Try this out. You know, breathe in, collapsing your throat. Now just do that with your mouth closed. You see? Change the tightness if you want, from really tight to a little more relaxed. Yeah? And the key is to gradually breathe in through your nose into the navel, your stomach. Belly should come out a little bit through a constricted throat. And then on your exhale, you just let your body weight collapse your lungs, and the air just comes out. You connect the breaths, so you take your time between the inhale and the exhale, like this. If you want, you can add a little elongation method, so you just tilt your chin in a little bit on the exhale, and it just pulls your spine up a little bit, which will make you very happy. It makes you feel very good. Do about 10 of those breaths and everything will become calm. That just did a lot for me. I didn't even do it properly on camera. And so I have a video where I am doing it properly, and I'm also facilitating the breath work with a A-tone singing bowl, if you want to check that out also. Okay, so how much time we got left? It's only been 15 minutes. What else shall I say? I can tell you what I've been up to recently. I've been doing a lot on emotional healing, and I've been at an ayahuasca retreat in Orlando. You know, that was pretty cool. In my last video you saw Wesley and you saw me there. I kind of want to say what I'm going to be doing in the future in regard to ayahuasca, but we'll see. We'll see. What was that other thing I was going to tell you about? That was it, your dreams. Your dreams are real. Dreams are real. They're real when you forget everything you know about dreams. Forget how you think dreams work, or how reality works. Not including my metaphor. Remember the metaphor thing. But you'll find that if you reach these levels of lucidity as you're falling asleep, you'll come to understand that if you follow along with what your mind is doing, with what your subconscious mind is doing, that your subconscious mind is actually creating realities as you fall asleep. They're temporary existences within the dimension of your mind for you to experience a specific reality for your benefit. And as you wake up gradually, that reality dissimulates. Okay? If you've ever taken DMT and you've broken through, same thing happens. This external part of your consciousness, we are all one. This is all your external mind. When you lucid dream, that's your internal mind. When you break through on DMT, this external reality literally dissimulates, and you go back to an aware state within an altered plane of existence. And to come back into this reality, if you follow along with what your external consciousness is doing, it literally creates existence in the same way, or a very similar way, to how your mind does when you go to sleep. And I say a very similar way because in this reality, well, it's being created for more reasons than just metaphors. You're creating this reality for many reasons, you know. It's a cool journey. So I'm Ryan Jesse Ryan James Cropper. This has been Your Potential. I've been very active on Facebook recently and Instagram, and on my Facebook group Ryan Cropper's Friends. So if you want to see more of me, you can. And I'll also always be here on YouTube, I guess. Speak to you all pretty soon. Peace.